Marine Reacts to Helsreach, Part 1 and Part 2 by Richard Boylan. As always, I'm going to be leaving a link to the original video and channel down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure that you check them out. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this animation, and this video is also going to be coming out the same day as the Boylan video from Luton09. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, it really does help me out a lot. Hit that notification bell right there, so you get notified every time I do upload. Sometimes I upload twice a day, typically working on them in the mornings, releasing them in the late afternoon to late evening. That way when you all get off work, you enjoy the videos at your leisure. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what Helsreach is all about.
I will die on this world. I cannot tell where this conviction comes from. Whatever birthed it is a mystery to me, and yet the thought clings like a virus, blooming behind my eyes and taking deep root within my mind. It almost feels real enough to spread corruption to the rest of my body, like a true sick.
First of all, I want to say the art style is amazing. This is from the Space Marine game. It's one of those collectible items that you can collect in games. Now, I have been doing some research on Space Marines, just because I feel I'm going to be focusing on that, at least to them for a while, or anything related to Space Marine. Because I felt like my biggest mistake, as far as getting to Warhammer, I'm trying to learn everything at once, which obviously isn't working for me because I tend to forget a lot of the stuff. So I want to be focusing on one thing for a while, jump to the next, focus on whatever that is for a while, so on and so forth. I mean, 40 years, it's going to take some time. So I have been doing some research on the Space Marine symbols because I have confused the salamanders before from the Krieg animation video that I did a little while back. But correct me if I'm wrong. This is just going off the top of my head from what I remember. This is the Black Templars. I could be wrong though.
It will happen soon, within the coming nights of blood and fire. I will draw my last breath. And when my brothers return to the stars, my ashes will be scattered over the priceless earth of this accursed world. Armageddon. Even the name twists my blood until burning oil beats through my veins. I feel anger now, hot and heavy, flowing through my heart and filtering into my limbs like boiling poison. My hands curl into fists. I am strong, born only to slay for the Emperor and the Imperium. I am pure, wearing the blackest of the black, trained to serve as a spiritual guide.
Blackest of the black. It's gotta be Black Templar.
As well as a war leader. I am wrath incarnate. Living only to kill until finally killed. I am a weapon in the eternal crusade to forge humanity's mastership with the stars. Its strength, purity, and wrath will not be enough. I will die on this world. I will die on Armageddon.
Alright, so the person who did the voice completely has sold me on this already. So, I mean, this is a little prologue, don't have much on it. So, we're going to go ahead and get into part 2. I'm sorry, but I like this kind of music. Just to kind of like, it gives you like a little vibing in your head, you know, I mean, if that makes sense.
In the holiest chamber of our ancient flagship, I lower myself to one knee and bow my head, because this is what is asked of me.
Grimaldus,
High Marshal Helbrecht intoned. His voice was a guttural rumble, rendered harsh from yelling orders and battle cries in 100 wars on 100 worlds.
we have summoned you to be judged.
I have answered the summons. I submit myself before your judgment, my liege.
He seems to be kind of like biting his tongue right now, or like pissed off at him for some reason. Also, the other guy's voice is just throwing me completely off, just the way he sounds. Obviously, that has nothing to do with the lore in the story. So I see a story now. So dumb question. So is this like an audio book, or like is this a book that's out there already? And he made this animation to help illustrate it. I still love it. I love the animation specifically. There's something about this type that's just really doing it for me. So obviously, it seems like he messed up, and he's probably getting reprimanded right now.
Mordred is dead,
Helbrecht's voice was a deep murmur.
slain by the archenemy. You, Grimaldus, have lost a master. We have all of us lost a brother. It was the belief of Reclusiarch Mordred that upon his death, you would be worthiest of our brother chaplains to stand in his stead. His final...
Okay, I was completely wrong. He's not getting reprimanded at all. They lost someone in a position of power, and he's having them fulfill a spot. I don't know. Ugh. Damn it. I sound so dumb right now, but... Okay, so he's getting promoted.
The decree was that you, of all your brethren, would be the one to rise to the rank of Reclusiarch.
The figure inclined his head in greeting.
Arterium, we draw near to our destination. I took the liberty of readying the squad for planetfall. This world will burn. It will not be the first, nor the last. Have you seen the projections? The fleet auguries, the number of vessels in the local systems already? Yeah, I lost interest when the numbers became too high for me to count on my fingers.
Arterian snorted at his own weak jest.
We will fight and win, or fight and die. All that ever changes is the color of the sky we fight under, and the shade of the blood on our blades.
My brothers' names are Arterian, Priamus, Cador, Nerovar, and Bastilan. These are the knights that have waged war beside me for decades. We are the Knights of Squad Grimaldus. Within his veins, Cador carries the blessed blood of Rogel Dawn with what seems like weary honor. He is older than I, older by far. His decades within the Sword Brethren are behind him now. Priamus is the rising sun to Cador's dusk. He is aware of his skills in the unsubtle and undignified way of many young warriors. A blade master, he calls himself. Yet he is not mistaken.
I've also realized that since it's very popular to dual wield, I realized that every single shooter, besides maybe the Imperial Guard who shoot like las guns, is that they're always carrying it in the left hand and the right hand. I mean, unless they're just right hand dominant and they feel a lot better doing it with, say, if they're using a knife or they're using that chainsaw type sword. Specifically with Space Marines, at least, they're always shooting pretty much from their left side, from what I've seen.
Arterion is... Arterion. My shadow, just as I am his. It is rare among our number for any knight to lay aside personal glory, yet Arterion is the one who carries my banner into battle. Nerevar is the newest among us. The squad required the presence of an apothecary. In the trials, only Nerevar impressed the rest of us with his quiet endurance. Bastilan is last. Bastilan, always the best and least of us all. A leader, but not a commander. An inspiring presence, but not a strategist. Forever a sergeant, never fated to rise as a castellan or marshal. My brothers go through the same rituals of checking and rechecking. A curious sense of unease descends upon me.
I mean, we do that too. We do PCCs and PCIs where before we go into training or before we go anywhere really, we're always making sure that we have everything. We're double checking. We double check our buddy to our left, to right. But yeah, we do a lot of gear checks. We do a lot of, God, if you're in the military, I'm pretty sure other branches did this too, but the Marines, I can't tell you how many times we've had to take everything out to the basketball courts, have our tarp laid out, and we're putting any little piece of whatever we needed to bring, SIF gear, or dumb shit like hand sanitizer that we were required to have because it's a part of the gear list. And we would double check literally by the numbers on the list. If you didn't have one thing, you're considered ill prepared and you get shit on. So I also like the fact that they're kind of giving us at least a little bit of detail on everybody there, so we can kind of start developing those connections and then kind of see how they end up interacting with each other.
Sword Brethren, that there is talk of the High Marshal nominating you to lead a crusade.
It is my belief, not merely the wish of your fallen master, that you should take the honor we offer you now. You have waged war at my side for 200 years, Grimaldus. Will you stand at my side as Reclusiarch of the Eternal Crusade?
Yes, my liege.
I dub thee Reclusiarch of the Eternal Crusade, as a knight of the Inner Circle. Let that be the last blow you receive unanswered.
It will be so, my liege.
As it should be.
Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the minute. So, part one, by the way, in between this little outro and the actual video, I did look it up again just to make sure. These are the Black Templars. Not to mention it said that he wears the blackest of black. So with the first one, obviously it being a prologue, I'm kind of getting a feeling of what's kind of going on. Learned at least the writing and the animation is incredible. In terms that it really got me like sucked in and wanting to watch this. It got me, it literally held my interest as soon as the guy started talking, especially when he says, "I am Wrath incarnate." Yes, I'm aware he was not getting reprimanded. He's getting a promotion. even though he did get punched. I mean, then again, different types of circumstances, obviously being Space Marines. And I heard Black Templar is supposed to be like one of the more hardcore versions of those who are like all about the Emperor and the Pyramid Man. What just kind of came up to me in my mind right now is, granted, again, I know I'm seeing this from our type of world, is that these Space Marines have mostly hundreds of years fighting wars, right? Now I know it's not consistently, like they have times, at least say for example when they're traveling, that they have some time to relax. I wonder if there's any stories out there that really relate to like maybe some of these Space Marines just having a complete mental breakdown or PTSD. Now I know it doesn't seem like that's happened at all, or maybe can't even come close to that, just because obviously Space Marines are essentially a different type of breed in a sense. So it's very unlikely that they probably suffered those conditions, but if there is one, I'd be very curious to know if there was. I'm excited to start seeing a lot more. As far as these videos, I'm going to be sneaking them in on top of other Warhammer 40K videos, as I'm going to be focusing on Marines a little more specifically. This also kind of helps me not only get some of the lore, but also just hear like a story, just get into the actual story aspect of it a lot more. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me a lot. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. It helps me improve the channel. If you're curious to see what's coming up next, check the description down below. You're going to see a list of about 5. Top to bottom is going to be how I view them. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.